So, welcome to a special edition of Pyrotechnics, the rock and metal podcast in association with Fireworks Rock and Metal magazine. Issue 106 is now available to pre-order at www.fireworks-magazine.com. But fans of today's guest may really want to turn their attention to issue 104, which I do have here. There you go. Because our guest appeared in that and gave us an absolutely superb interview. However, it is actually sold out of printed copies. So if you do want one, you'll have to get one of the digital editions that we do. But it's only £1, which is golden, which, funny enough, is also the title of this first track. Mm-hmm.
Like a blue flame supernova, you came passing through the sky. As I looked away, I knew that it was over, and it was time for us to say goodbye. It was always meant to be this way. Nothing ever stays the same. Now the time shared has passed away. Those times I knew they were golden.
I didn't want to let things go that way, but I got frozen out by the rain. Oh, I wish I could go back to that day. Although our stars will never shine the same. Nothing ever stays the same. Now the time shared has passed away. Those times I knew they were golden. Sunlight trickles through my window pane, and my world has come back to life again. Though the moon will never ever pull me closer than the time with you, my supernova. It was always meant to be this way. Nothing ever stays the same. Now the time shared has passed away. Those times I knew they were golden, golden, golden. Nothing ever stays the same. Now the time shared has passed away. Those times I knew they were golden. Those times I knew they were golden. Those times I knew they were golden.
That was a fantastic golden from their latest album, Aces Are High. And for those of you who are still not sure, our special guests today are Grace and Aaron Bond, also known as a brilliant When Rivers Meet. Not only voted the UK's Blue Band of the Year for 2021, they did it again in 2022. And then to complete the hat trick, they did it in 2023. And knowing these guys, they're probably going to go for the quadruple as well. So welcome to you both.
Thank you very much.
How you doing?
Speak to you.
And also joining me, your host, Peter Arnett. You'll see a familiar face and a voice up on the other side of the screen. Welcome to our deputy editor, Mr. Dave Cockett. Welcome, Dave.
Cheers, Pete. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Right, Dave, let's throw open the questions.
Okay, guys. First thing, what I want to do is to kind of perhaps you've got a big audience out there, but what I'd like to try and do is introduce you to people who may not know who you are or your background. So, firstly, let's chat a little bit about both of you. Where did you start with? I understand that you were playing separately in different bands before you got together. So, just tell us a little bit about that. What your musical influences are, how you two guys met, and I understand that you started playing together as Holmes and Bond before it became When Rivers Meet in 2016. What happened there?
So so we met about 20 years ago, and at that time we met in a pub. I was a barmaid, Hunter, and we're married now, married couple. But when we met, Aaron you were doing some different projects and rock bands. I always loved like soul and Motown, and then I got into like Bonnie Raitt, so more blues vocalists, and then I got really into like the newer country stuff that I discovered. And then when I started working in the pub where I met Aaron, it was a rock pub. And then that opened my eyes, along with then Aaron opening my eyes to all the classic rock stuff like Bad Company, discovered Paul Rodgers, Guns N' Roses. And so then I got very influenced by Aaron's sort of tastes. And then it was, so we performed, there was actually a precursor to Holmes and Bond, we were called Tyler for a while. I'd forgotten about that till then. And it was because Aaron
and we need to forget about that as well.
I don't know why Aaron was a floor and wall tiler at that time, and I don't know what. Anyway,
just
what
spelt it differently and thought it was
I don't think that was good. And then so we were Holmes and Bond, but then when we got married, which was 2015, 2016, 15, it like we felt we needed to change it, and Bond and Bond was a bit too like commercial, a bit too industrial.
Yeah.
So we came up with something complete, and we changed our whole musical style at that time as well.
Yeah.
So kind of went hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what you say that you used to play in rock bands, Aaron? Are we talking sort of metal bands, classic rock bands?
Yeah, kind of classic rock kind of stuff. And I was the singer for the band, or a couple of bands that I was in, and we just done like local stuff, like covers and things like that, really. So we won Battle of the Bands and in West Norfolk and things like that. So it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Were you writing your own material at that point?
No, not at all. It was just like cover things, really. Like we were doing like Guns N' Roses, Extreme, Metallica, Megadeth, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't until we actually came together, and sort of later on that we sort of started writing together. It was like we knew we wanted to do our own music, so it took us a long time to sort of learn how to write and how to write together as well.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you started playing gigs together, you were just playing as a duo.
Yeah.
What do you remember of those early gigs? How hard was it for a band like that to go out there? Firstly, to be able to get gigs, then to get an audience and engage with an audience. I mean, what was the scene like back then? You got any particularly good or bad memories of it?
Oh, plenty of both.
Yeah, and it was really difficult to get anything that was anywhere near paid.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of the time, so what we found for a long time is we stayed within our local area, because we can, like, if you're not getting
we had
paid,
day jobs as well, didn't we? So,
we were working day jobs, and so you have to be home like Monday morning, and you have to make it pay a little bit, because you can't subsidize it too much. So we actually started another like side thing that we were doing, where we were like a vocal duo, and we went all over the country doing that, and we earned that, we were paid for that.
Yeah.
But it's so difficult to get gigs as originals band.
Yeah. The venues just weren't really there as such. You know, you'd be like asking the back of the pubs or whatever, oh, can we come in and do a few songs? Oh no, we don't do music here or whatever else. And
Or
then
do you do covers?
we do.
Or...
We only have covers and stuff like that. We don't like original stuff, and because nobody knows it, you know, and that sort of
And
thing.
I
So
mean,
it's
I
real tough.
remember we love the Isle of Wight, and
Yeah.
because we got ourselves an old VW, like T4, not the pretty one, an ugly
The ugly one. Yeah.
so that we could sleep in the van and we could play and go further afield and sleep in the van and not have to pay for hotels. And like I remember we'd driven and gone to the Isle of Wight, and we'd done one gig and we got 2 gigs to make it pay.
Yeah.
And then the next day we were sitting in this van in the rain waiting to do the gig, and they phoned up and said, "Oh, a covers band is playing in the pub down the road tonight, so we don't want you now."
Yeah.
We were like, it was like a 70 or 80 quid gig, but we
no,
were
it
like,
wasn't even that. It was like 50 quid.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like, well,
They were
50,
probably going to
60
feed
quid or
us,
something.
you know,
Yeah.
or something. So
Yeah.
it's really tough.
Yeah.
And I don't suppose it's a lot different now.
No.
It's not, you know, it
In
wasn't
fact,
that long ago.
In fact, it's probably harder now, and the fact that
Yeah.
what during COVID, so many other venues have shut and whatever else. So I should imagine harder now than what it was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even once you'd got to the stage where you managed to get yourself a gig, and like you say, if you're not playing covers, how difficult was it to engage an audience? Or were you basically just sat playing to a room of people, having a conversation and supping a pint?
Well, there's different variations, because there's some places where the people are there to go and watch something new, go and listen to some new music and things like that. And if they like it, then great. If they didn't, then you kind of know about it. They just disappear. And there's other places that didn't want you there in the first place. I remember playing at one place, I forget where it was, this like sort of Kent way, I think it was. And we rocked up and we set up and everything. Thought, oh, this is a great venue, looks amazing and whatever else. And we started playing, and they switched all the tellies on because the football was on, and everybody was watching the football.
Yeah.
And then we were in the corner playing. We might as well not have been there. It was just ridiculous.
And the volume up. We were like, how can we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there you are. It's good
live and learn, don't
experiences.
you?
Yeah, they're great experiences, really. Yeah.
I mean, going out as a duo must have its up and downs. Did you ever feel restricted? You know, you ever felt restricting what you can do going out as a duo, or you just find the dynamic works perfectly?
No, we do feel restricted,
Yeah.
and we felt restricted for sure. And because like we're saying now about how difficult it is to get gigs as original band and stuff, and we had such a big jump from that, because we quit our jobs before COVID happened, and we'd got more gigs. We were going right up to Scotland, and we were going to travel around in the van. And then because COVID happened, we started going online, and that is where we grew our fan base. And we'd actually started doing it just before COVID. So we were noticing, like, even at the pub gigs, we would get like a group of people, or you'd get a group of bikers outside, and we'd be like, they're here for us, we'll be all right.
Yeah,
So
totally.
we were it was gradually growing, and then it wasn't until after lockdown, when we were going in venues on our own, and that's when we then got a band for the first time for our own music.
Yeah.
I
was just going to say, before I remember before COVID, back in 2019, where we really started finding our feet and what we were doing. I remember applying for like blues clubs and things, especially up north. And there's a certain people that run those areas, and I was in contact with them, and because we were a duo, they wouldn't have a bar of us. They said, no, we only have bands. And that's something else you come across. You're like, well,
Yeah.
I don't understand. You know, we're in the genre. Why are we not? You know, but they are.
Yeah. So, so when we done our first headline tour, we brought in the band, and it was amazing because it brought the songs to life.
Yeah.
And we absolutely love it. We've got an incredible band as well. Our producer is now on bass. Foxy, our drummer's been with us since the start, and so we absolutely love it. But funnily enough, a couple of weeks ago, or last weekend, we played a duo gig and loved it.
We did, didn't we? Yeah.
So we were like, and it's actually quite nice, weirdly, to have the restriction then, because there's not that, you can't do that much. There's only 2 of us, and we have to do things in a different way. So we're actually now like, oh, should we do a duo tour as well? So it's weird. Yeah, we love it as well. But
yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, you started to build a bit of momentum, and then COVID kicked in and just cut the thing dead. But you then thought, okay, you grasped the bull by the horns, and you thought, we'll try and make the best of this. And that's really when you started to make some inroads on the internet and get an audience out there in cyberspace. I mean, that obviously must have been a bit of a game changer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A complete game changer. And we'd sort of realised that we have to approach it in a much more brutal kind of way, because it's so much when you like create music and you put it out, you feel really vulnerable because you know, like especially on the internet, 'cause people can be really cruel and that you want to sort of protect yourself. So I think for a long time we were very tentative about what we put out, even like probably tentative of where we wanted to play, because it's just vulnerable, you know, and I'm like the worst person to cry on stage and be like the you know, performing. It's such a vulnerable thing as well. But so we sort of changed, we would gradually change our mindset when we came up to like when COVID first hit, and I'd got some marketing courses, how to make you know, how to grow your fan base and how to sort of make it work, because we weren't even really earning a living. Like we lived with family, we were really struggling, but we didn't want to give up. We were like, we can't, you know, we wanted to do it. So it was a case of finding a way. And then sort of because of COVID, it was like, right, we've got one choice now. We've got to make this work online and we've got to connect with people and build something special. And we feel like we have now. But it was, you know, it's none of it sort of just happened. It was very much like
a lot of tough decisions, weren't there?
Yeah,
you know,
it's been really, it was scary as well, because it is like you're putting yourself out there.
I think it is like a case of you burn your bridges and you go for it. If you're fully into it, you can make something of it. But if you're not fully into it, and you'll know if you're not fully into it, you know, because there'll always be these other things that crop up, and it's like, yeah, you have to really
Go all in. Yeah, we did. I think as well, because I said in 2019 we changed our style as well. We realized we weren't loving what we were playing.
It was more like kind of like folky Americana kind of stuff. That's what we were.
It wasn't hitting the spot for us even, and we were very honest with ourselves and like, let's change drastically. Aaron went and got an electric guitar on credit because he had to have a Les Paul.
I'd have a Gibson. That's it.
And so we done a big drastic. We found a new producer, and when we done that, it was like, do you know what? Now we believe in this. So it was like, it was much easier to put ourselves out there at that point, because it was like, no, this is good. So
So just for clarification then, you say 2019 is when you got the stylistic change, just before COVID. Were you up to COVID, were you just out there as a duo, or had you got a band together at that point?
No, we were duo the whole time.
Okay.
So we back in 2019, so we played like the British Rock and Blues Festival in Skegness. That was duo, and we were sort of like sorting out a tour for the UK throughout 2019 and 2020, and we were going all over the place, which was great. And yeah, like you say, then March hit and bang, that
was all duo. And then
all duo.
So the first time when we came out and we sold like 10,000 headline tour tickets, and we had to play with a band, and it was like
we need to get a band together.
So so then it all changed when we came back out after COVID, which I get so confused with the years now, but that was a big jump. Pubs to headline tour.
Huge,
So if we look then at your debut album, We Fly Free, which a lot of it you obviously must have been thinking about and writing songs during lockdowns. Did you start then with the premise that, okay, this is the style that we want? It doesn't really work with a duo. It doesn't work in this sort of format. It needs to be with a band. So did you think at that point from day one that this really needs to be a band?
So in the studio, so we should have said in the studio, our producer was playing bass and drums for us.
Right.
So the records were all full band. Even from we done 2 EPs before our debut album, and so I think we already had we could hear like the record was a full band sound, but we write all the songs as a duo. But there was a lot of feedback of people of like, if you start, because all our live streams are duo, if you go out with a band, is it going to dilute you? Are you not going to be the same? And that kind of did worry us as well, because it was so different. But as soon as we did, somebody said, and it feels so right, the band coloured us in, and it just made it complete. So we've never, and we always wanted a band because like we love like that certain level of rock that gets you, you know, and we never feel like we can quite get that heavy with a duo. It's not even like heavy, but it's just like impact, you know.
Well, there's the snare and the cymbal and stuff like that you kind of miss with the duo, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So when rivers meet, then where did that come from?
Right. So we were in Sardinia at the time, and we hadn't long gotten married. So we were Holmes and Bond before that. Fraser's maiden name's Holmes, obviously my name's Bond. And when we came across the name of like, I don't know what's going to be like Bond, and so Grace was saying earlier, kind of sounds like a building firm or something like that. So we couldn't do that, you know. So it's just like not quite hitting the mark. So we were playing with the word rivers, and we just happened to be overlooking this ravine where these two rivers met in Sardinia. So when rivers meet, it's like, oh, that was it. And it was just like, we're the rivers and we're creating the music, and when we do that, it all comes together. So
At what time did you, you know, what point did you feel that, you know, we're actually onto something here? People are really starting to take notice in us and what we're doing, and you know, we're making that that breakthrough now.
We know the specific moment
Yeah,
it happened.
I was going to say this. Yeah.
Because it was the first where we'd started writing this new material, more bluesy, more rocky stuff. We were really liking it, and we played Deerham Blues Festival, which is in Norfolk.
Yeah.
And just the two of us, we had 3 gigs, I think, while we were there, and we set up. We weren't even the band that got to play in the pub. We were the band that had to be outside the pub. So we were setting up our PA, and we set up outside. We started playing, and we got this massive crowd started to come round us.
Yeah.
And everyone was just loving it, and it was like, yes, we've got something that people like. And because we'd played so many gigs before, we'd worked really hard at trying to get something good, and when we'd play it, and it was always like, oh, they didn't like it as much as we hoped.
Yeah.
You know,
just the reactions that you get, you feel it, you know, and
we felt it, and we felt it ever since
now,
where it's like, you know, and I do think it's that audiences are so, even if people have no idea about music, people are so intuitive, like music fans, they know when something is authentic and when something isn't. And I believe truly that before we weren't being authentic, we didn't love it. So why the hell was anyone else gonna love it? And as soon as we felt it, people were like it, you know, it's as simple as that.
Right then, folks. So I think it's time now to let Grace and Helen have a breathe or a drink, or basically just a chance to run away screaming. So we're going to play another song of theirs. This is Freeman from the EP collection, which was released in September 2019.
a free man? Who wants to be a free man? Who wants to be a free man? Who wants to be a free man?
Okay, guys, that was the fantastic Freeman. So what we've got to do now, moving on. One of the things that I've noticed is that people are always decrying the fact that the scene, the traditional rock scene, is kind of dying or it's on his knees. But actually, when you look at it, there's quite a thriving blues rock scene out there, with the likes of yourselves, Ariel, Troy Redfern, King, even Joe Bonamassa, all pulling crowds, all getting great reviews. How does that renewed interest in them make you feel as an artist? Does it give you validation?
Definitely. So you mean the scene as a whole? How do we feel about the scene as a whole? Yeah.
Yeah.
We think it's an incredible scene,
Yeah.
and I think
Mm.
mostly it is because it may not be the biggest scene, it may not be, you know, like mainstream scene, but the people who are interested in this style of music are dedicated to it, and they want to know, like,
And it's real.
yeah.
It's all real.
Yeah, like you're saying, like Ariel, and Troy and King, and then you've got the crossover artists like Els, and I think that's really exciting as well. The fact that it feels like even more so things are blending a lot more. It doesn't feel like you have to fit in a box so much.
It's not
And
so black and white now. It's kind of like there's plenty of different shades to
yeah.
the genre, shall we say?
Yeah, and it's a strong community as well, and I think that outside of that, you've got the likes of like Rival Sons, who, you know, they're not UK artists, but when they come here, like we see on our social media groups, people arranging meetups, and
Yep.
so even outside of the UK scene, like touring artists, it's an awesome community to be involved in.
Yep.
People care about the music, and people are supporting the artists, buying the vinyl and making it viable, coming to the gigs, buying the t-shirts. You do it.
Absolutely. And that is part of the community, isn't it? It's having the experience of live music, and in a way it's kind of like old school way of doing things, and it's great because people are there to enjoy live music. They want to experience the atmosphere and the friendship and the camaraderie and everything like that, which is what it is, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
That's the key thing to me, though, is that it is most definitely a live scene and it's thriving.
Yeah.
Regardless of what people tell you, oh, these places are shutting down, that's shutting down, this band can't get that big gig, it's all covers that people want to hear. But you actually look at blues rock, and you could gig every night. You could as a punter, you could go out there, you could find somewhere to watch a great blues rock band play every night.
Definitely. And I think sometimes, like, I know a lot of venues are shutting down, and I know it's not great for everybody, but I do think, like, we believe in everything, that what you focus on is what you will see. And so for us, like, you know, you speak to a lot of artists who say, oh, it's really tough out there, and we're like, no mate, it's awesome. You know, it's like, and it's not always easy for artists, like, you know, even to make successful tours pay is not easy. So it's not like we don't understand the struggle, but at the same time, you got to focus on the amount of people still up for live gigs, and there are some such cool venues, like properly cool venues that you can, you know, so yeah, it's what you focus on as well, isn't it?
True. In some respects, there's still that outdated view that blues music is predominantly performed by sort of older men wearing their hats in the smoky clubs and bars. But obviously with you guys and with the other artists that Dave's mentioned as well, obviously leading the genre now, how pleasing is it for you to be at the forefront of this sort of youthful reinvention of blues rock?
Oh, it's amazing. It really is. And it's kind of like a new wave, shall we say. It's kind of like, and I think it's because artists like ourselves and like you say, Els and people like that have evolved, not just the blues, the typical blues thing that you'd think. There's other elements to it, and I think that's what we've all brought into this, and what is really making it something really special again, you know.
And I remember in the car a while ago, we were having a conversation and we were saying about the blues rock scene in the UK. And we were going, yeah, well, who's the biggest acts? And we were going through, we were reading the names off, we were going through Kings and everyone. We were like, yeah, there must be other people out there. And we were like, and I remember saying to Aaron, shit, it's us. And it was like the funniest thing, because it was like realization of like, oh my God, we could be considered up there. So yeah, it's quite funny.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome, really.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah. The scene is incredible. It really is.
I mean, Grace, obviously one of the great things to see is that there's a lot more women now visible in sort of like blues rock. You know, how do you feel about this? And to both of you, because obviously the widened interest and the widened increase in your popularity, how important is it you two being role models? Again, especially to you, Grace, obviously our girls seeing young girls looking up in you and saying, well, if she can do that, I can do it as well. You know, how pleasing is that, and how important it is for you to be those role models?
It's really important, and I think I've only realised recently how important it is, because we went to an event about like not even a month ago in London about equality, and like how many women are in the scene, how many women are in like executives roles in the music industry and that kind of thing. And I think it really hit both of us as to like, it's actually really important to represent, like in my case, like your gender, you know. And there's so many rock festivals that we turn up to, and I don't think I didn't clock it for a long time. It's like, I'm the only woman who's playing on this stage today. And I think it took me quite a long time to work out where you fit in that, because to start with, especially like with the rock scene, I felt, and I don't know where I got it from, whether it was just something I brought on myself, but I felt like I had to portray a certain image as a female singer. Like I had to be aggressive. And I'm not saying every male rock singer is aggressive, but you know, you form those opinions in your mind of what you need to be. And it's only sort of this last year, as we've got more confident in that, we had a second tour, and I think it's actually really important to just be like, it's actually all right to be a girl on stage. You know, like you don't always have to like, you can just be a feminine woman on stage at a rock concert, and that is cool too. Like I love rocking it up, and I love singing the big notes, and equally I love singing little delicate bits, and you know, and then, you know, it's just kind of embracing it and not feeling like you have to meet expectations, I think, that are self-imposed in lots of cases, I should imagine.
And I think with it as well, on that subject, with the quality as well, that a lot of gigs that you tend to go to, say in the blues rock scene, are mostly male, to be fair. And people like Grace, and you've got Els, and you've got Brave Rival, and bands like that, who are really saying to the women, look, it's cool to be women and to come to these gigs, because these gigs are so cool. You got to come, you know. And we're noticing, I think, over this last few months, especially this last year or so, where there are more women attending these gigs as well, which is amazing, you know. So yeah, it's great.
Now, as Pete mentioned earlier, you've won quite a few UK Blues Awards. That must make you feel proud.
Oh, for sure.
Very proud.
Yeah.
And we can't be Blues Band of the Year anymore, because we are capped at 3 times.
You're allowed to win it 3 times.
So hello, darling. Sorry, dog's coming. So we've done it. It's very surreal. The first one and first and second, sorry. Someone's pleased as this. The first couple of awards were online, so we actually got to attend one of the ceremonies, and we're actually going to be giving an award away on this next award,
one,
which feels like,
which is amazing.
Incredible as well, to be able to like.
So we were absolutely newcomers like 3 years ago, and now all of a sudden
now we're presenting awards from.
So it's like the circle is, you know, complete. Really cool.
Yeah. Now, your latest album, Aces Are High, which came out towards the end of last year, it's been your most successful one yet. And we've seen with each new album, it's got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. How far do you think you can push it. What are you aiming at? Is the sky the limit?
Yeah.
For sure. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah, especially at the moment, we're really hyped up for what's next.
Yeah.
And we're sort of musically, we're feeling as we have with every album, we're feeling a pull in another way. Like we've got a little tug going in another direction as to where we've been before.
Yeah.
And like, as in, you know, we were the first UK independent blues band to have a top 10 album with Aces. And you know, that was the goal right from
That
when we
just
were in
blew
the
our mind,
studio.
you know.
No,
Yeah.
we
But
wanted
to get that, it
and
blew
we
our mind.
denied that for a long time.
Yeah.
But like, I wanted a top 10 album. Like
Yeah.
that was and I think if you don't know what you want, you're never going to get it. Like I want a #1 next time.
That's it. That's it.
So
Yeah.
it's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, and certainly, obviously, putting that across as whilst you guys are very much the focal point of When Rivers Meet, when you actually go to see it live, it's a band, and being able to do what you couldn't do as a duo with a band. I mean, like I said, sky's the limit.
Absolutely.
For
Yeah.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
It's very exciting.
One of the things that I picked up on, and I especially do like, is the intensity that you seem to bring to your videos. Even if it's just you two in a room like on Testify or Perfect Stranger, it doesn't look like you guys are just going through the motions. I mean, it made me laugh when you said about, you know, being aggressive, being female, and you sort of got that intensity in the videos that, you know, you look like you're belting out all the notes, you're belting out all the tunes. And then in Play My Game, beg your pardon, you've got a bit more of an acting role. I mean, obviously you've got the card table, you've got Grace stealing the money, you've got them running out the club or the venue that you're in, and then Aaron just coolly picking up the drink and sauntering out, and then you know, you got Gracie leaning out the car saying, "Come on, Aaron." To be fair, you did that very naturally. So is that, you know, Aaron, do you do this all the time? Do you get told off by Grace to come and hurry up to
No, I don't think that was in it. He done it, and I did go, "Come on, you spoke." And then we're like, "Oh no, actually, that's quite funny. We should leave that in."
So I can't leave this drink on the table. I'm drunk.
I mean, what style of videos do you guys like to do? And because I know some artists see videos as necessarily evil to sort of like songs and stuff like that. Do you enjoy doing them?
We actually really love doing the videos. I think it kind of helps tell a story of the songs as well. And I was always one for like MTV and things like that years ago, when you used to see some really cracking music videos and stuff, and it was the channel would just be glued to it, you know. And I think it's great. I love music videos.
Funny enough, the last 2 days we've been filming music videos in Norfolk. We've done 2 videos in 2 days. So yeah, and with those we've done 2 very different videos. But I think as well, I think it's really important if someone comes across your music, I think to be able to watch a video and add the visual like impression to it. I think that's really important, especially for the first impressions of like, am I going to be into this band? What are they about?
And what do they look like and stuff like that as well? Yeah.
Like, how do they interact? How do they perform? Yeah. And we like it because, I mean, we joke that we love attention. We love being on stage. Like, we're very natural performers, and so like for us, it's like, you know, it's just performing. So we enjoy doing it. Apart from the fact of, I'm always worried that my hair's wrong, and then he'll be like, "No, it's fine." And then I'll look at the video and I'll have a bit sticky, and I'm like, "Can you not see? Can you not see that?" Oh, but anyway, other than that, it's good.
Do you find the acting bits come naturally to you, or is it something that, you know, you're having to work on?
Well, you used to do a bit of acting.
Yeah,
anyway,
I used to do a little bit of acting and stuff like that as well. So I mean, yeah, I think it's just performing. We just love performing and being on stage and just doing the thing, you know. And if people enjoy it, wow, that's even better. You know, that's great. So yeah.
Yeah, we like it.
One of the things that we've been talking about quite heavily on Pyrotechnics is the use of AI in music. It seems to be taking over every single facet now. I mean, do you guys see a time, you know, first of all, you know, what do you think of AI in music? And do you see a chance, you know, would you ever use it, or is it something that's certainly person non grata as far as you're concerned?
Well,
we absolutely hate it, and over our dead body would we ever use it? That's our opinion of it.
yeah.
And
We're real, you know.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, don't get me wrong, it's incredible. And, you know, we've had a lot of discussions, like even with our videographer yesterday, who's like an illustrator, incredibly creative, and he's for it because he's like, well, that would normally take me 3 days. Now I can do it in half an hour. And I see that. But at the same point, it's the skill where like we were having this yesterday of like
Literally having this
basket makers
conversation.
have disappeared. No one makes a basket now. That skill's gone. How long is it going to be until you don't need to learn to sing and you don't need to play guitar?
Yeah,
Exactly.
But I don't think it will ever happen because, as far as I'm concerned, there is always a counterculture to everything.
Yeah.
And we and I dare say this, the whole blues rock scene are already the counterculture because we are all about authenticity, live, feeling it.
I think we prove it anyway, don't we? As a culture ourselves, where people are buying vinyl, people are buying T-shirts and things like that, because we want to keep this alive, don't we?
Even
we
the
want it to
tangible
thrive.
product
Yeah.
and feeling the vinyl is important to us. So AI is not going to sit well with our community,
No,
you know?
definitely not.
But,
Yeah.
Right, let's take you away from being When Rivers Meet and just being Aaron and Grace Bond. How important is it for you guys to be able to make that distinction? What do you guys do to unwind and shut off that artistic performing side? And can you ever shut it off completely? And then vice versa, how easy is it for you to switch back in to being When Rivers Meet and putting all domestic issues like the dishes are undone or the toilet needs cleaning or something like that, and then going back in and doing your music?
Yeah.
I don't think there is any difference.
No, I don't think there's a switch off. It is. We are. You know, that's it. That's our lifestyle, and that's the way we live.
And I think a lot of that is because, like, we genuinely like, you know, we spent the last 2 days at Hockwald Hall in Norfolk filming music videos with smoke machines in a cellar and drones and like the coolest stuff, you know, you could imagine doing. We get to do that's our job. Like we get to do that.
Yeah.
So we don't need to switch off from it. I think as well.
I think we embrace it. I think we embrace every single faculty of it. And that's one of the things about being independent, I think. Whereas the fact that we can go and do pretty much whatever we want to do, what we feel is right and what we feel is authentic to us. So, and that's one of the things, like we decided, right, we need a couple of more music videos. We want to do them. Let's find somewhere that's somewhere cool. And, you know, and obviously we do all we've got like a team of people with us. My best mate, Stu, he helps us out a lot. Your best mate, Anna, she helps us out a lot. It's like a core
of like 5 or 6 of us who every day are working on stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, we don't ever switch off from that. Like it's kind of like being an entrepreneur now as well, because we're independent and we're self-managed. So it's amazing, you know, what it takes to keep things rolling. Like we're just bringing on a fulfillment center. We're shipping a load of vinyl to the States to try and bring the shipping costs down for our supporters in the States and that kind of thing. There's always stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
And we don't switch off from that. Sometimes that would be nice. It would be nice to be able to switch off from that more. But at the same point, the thought of handing it to someone and it not being done how we want, and
which has happened in the past. Which has happened in the past, and you learn from your mistakes, don't you? So you know, it's best to be able to control everything ourselves.
We'd rather we'd rather, you know, have it constantly on our minds, but know it's done right, rather than have it on our minds and not to be able to control what's happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah.
So what you're saying is then that either on stage or sat here on the couch, this is Grace and Aaron. Take it or leave it.
Literally. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Yeah. So finally, then you've talked about the last couple of days you've spent making a couple of videos. Presumably they're obviously going to get released at some point in the not too distant. What's 2024 got in store for you guys next? What's coming up in terms? I know you're starting to tour. I think you play Southampton is at the end of April, and then you've got some gigs, some festivals through the summer. What else is coming up?
Yeah, so like you say, we've got the tour. We've got our spring tour, April and May. So come check out our website. The dates are on there. Hopefully we'll be playing near you. And also, like you say, you've got festivals coming up. We've got Europe. We've got some things going on down in Europe as well, which is the first for us. Yeah. And then we're going to do another tour at the end of the year.
And then in there as well, we're doing, we just started to discuss with our booking agent, we want to do a duo tour because it's fun and really different.
Yeah.
And we want to do something to support the independent record stores as well. So we're going to arrange some, whilst we do the duo tour, we're probably going to arrange some different meetups and signings and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
We are going to be doing we've been messing around with duo stuff, we've been doing acoustic versions of our own songs, and we want to record that as well. Feel like it, you know, we think people would really enjoy it because we're really enjoying it. And then of course we're doing album number 4 is being recorded in June. We have the whole of June blocked out. So we'll be, but we're not kind of rushing the release. We've always crowdfunded and been like a rush to get a release date. And this time we want to record it, and we just want to sit on it for a little while and then decide how is best to put it out there.
Yeah, when to release it.
Yeah.
So 24 is going to be pretty busy.
Lots going on.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it. I mean, we talked earlier about sky being the limit and pushing it further and further. Do you feel that perhaps, I don't know, the next logical step up would be to get support on like a Bonamassa tour or something like that, to get your profile out to a much bigger sort of audience?
Definitely, and there are lots of things like that, you know, like that comes to mind, like the Jules Holland shows and that kind of thing. And we are definitely putting ourselves out there for these opportunities. And there's a few, as there kind of has been for the last year or two, there's always a lot of things in the pipeline. But there's a lot of people like us wanting those slots. We, you know, we'll do our best and we put ourselves forward, and we, whatever comes our way, we're ready for it. Yeah. Okay. Definitely.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you both on the show today. So thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
It's been really
it's been great.
Yeah, it's been great to talk to you guys.
Brilliant. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to let the guys enjoy the rest of the day. Obviously, they're very busy. So, you know, again, we do appreciate the fact that they're talking to us. And I will also say goodbye as well to my co-host as well, Dave. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
I've been your host, and don't forget to order the new copies of 106 of Fireworks Rock and Metal Magazine, www.fireworks-magazine.com. And as I said before, issue 104, that's another one you want to take note of. Hopefully you can see them now on the cover. It's a digital download only, unfortunately, because we have sold out of hard copies. It's only £1, and their interview is worth £1 alone. So, you know, buy it. Let's get them known even more than they already are. And also, as well, I implore you, check out Grace and Aaron's website. It's www.whenriversmeet.co.uk. Obviously, being the webmaster myself, I take a good interest in websites, and this is one of the better ones that I've seen. It's full of news, videos, tour information. Done a great job. And also, more importantly, they can get a whole range of merchandise. So go out and support the guys, because like I said, the independent circuit, got to keep it going. And the only way to do this is to buy the stuff directly from the artist. So please do so. It's only fitting that we end this podcast with another great tune from the guys. So I'm going to hand it over now to Grace and Aaron to introduce this track.
Yeah, so we chose for this one, we wanted to play Perfect Stranger, which is the second single off of Aces Are High.
It is.
And it's my personal favourite.
And it's about how we met.
Yeah, so we thought it would be a good one to wrap the podcast up with.
A